This is our Unconstitutional Awakening program. Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. Brought to you by KD Consulting Redesign.
Ahoy there, mateys. It's time to set sail on another episode of Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast. All right, guys. So now that we're in the triple digit numbers, I figured I had to step up my game and get a big dog over here with me. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the face you see sitting next to me. Vince from over there that runs makes you think, and I'm his co-host on, and friggin' the morning coffee that he's doing over there, all of that on the Red Pill projects and stuff, man. I'm going to share the link, so I ain't even got to go there. But like, I finally got him over here with us, man. He's been a little MIA even over on Red Pill project recently, but that's all right. Sometimes we have other things going on and got to do what we got to do. So first and foremost, Vince, I appreciate you coming over here this evening, man. It's about time I finally got you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jim Bob. It's my pleasure. It really is. Thank you.
And of course, tonight I got Luis with me. How you doing, Luis?
Alive.
Well, that's good to know.
I think.
Bandit's in here with us tonight. How you doing there, Bandit?
Good, man. Good.
Fantastic. And Neptune, I know you're floating around in here too. How you doing this evening?
Yeah, man, I'm doing well. Thanks. Yep. It's just, I'm just glad it's Wednesday, over the line and closer to the weekend.
There we go. Well, of course, you guys, I everybody else that's out here listening and watching on BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey, and every one of those streaming podcasts or streaming platforms that we're over there on. You guys, I really appreciate you guys the most, because like, you're the reason that we keep doing this stuff, man. The only reason I keep popping up on the internet in your feed and giving you just random wild information. I'm sure a little of you are, wondering what's been going on some other stuff, man. But I just wanted to let you know that Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast, is here to stay, and we're going to keep doing our thing. Keep spreading liberty with our friends that help us spread liberty over there, man. You can hop on over there to unconstitutionalawakening.com to find everything with that, man. We got podcast section, some news section, the UA social section we're trying out. You can find where all these links are to get back to us, even listen to the show while you're over there on the website. Check out our merch store, of course, and then we got our sponsors, man. We got some good guys that are friends of liberty out here trying to help things going on, like my buddy Kirk Elliott over there. You can check him out at kirkelliottphd.com/jimbbob/. He can get you consulted, man, on some real good stuff like the gold and silver. And like I've said before, it'd probably be better to have yourself some silver put away, because Lord knows what they're about to do with money. It's getting a little crazy out there. So y'all make sure y'all give Kirk a check out, man. He's a real good dude. And then our local fantastic soap and energy healer we got going on over there at Peachy Key Creations, and her special pirate dragon's blood soap that she's got made just for the show here, man. You guys go and check that out. It's pretty good, and it's all natural made, man. She's got all of her ingredients listed right here for you guys to check out. She's even got a peach flavor going on right now, or scent, or whatever you want to call it. Like, please don't eat soap. God, please don't eat soap. Just because just don't. Even though it's natural ingredients, let's not do that, guys. But it's Peachy Key Creations. You can find her she's on Facebook and she's on Etsy, man. You guys can check her out. She's got a lot of good things going on over there for you guys. And then my little buddy over there with Ammo Can Survival, doing camping, first aid, and survival gear, as well as making plate carriers and ghillie suits. this little young man's got it going on, and of course he uses the only armor that I know you should use, which is hoplite. So, and that's Ammo Can Survival at Instagram. And of course, lastly, our newest friend, and I think one of the top tier dudes we got hanging out there helping the world, Brett Pike with classicallearner.com, man. He's not only is he out there putting like truthful historical information out there, but he did the Cubs to Bears books, and he's also got Homeschools Connected, where he's helping those 2 million people that have walked away from the indoctrination camps this year get it together and help get their kids a better future with their heads on straight, man. And all that stuff's real good. And there's discount codes you guys can use shared with each episode and stuff like that. So you guys make sure you get over there and check that stuff out and see what they can do for you, man. Like it's good kind of stuff. And I believe in bringing these folks together as alternative systems to the current mess we have going on. Because I know somebody like Vince knows about the current mess that's going on in the world, because that's part of your job you do with the Red Pill over there, ain't it, bud?
It is. I preach homeschooling every single day I get the chance. I do.
Yeah, man. You should. I'll have to hook you up with Brett just to chat with him, man. He's a real good dude. I've had him on the show a couple times.
I'd be interested in that. I appreciate that.
And it led to it led to me being like, man, I like what you're doing, and I want to help spread your message there, because like I'm a homeschooler, and his little things that he's got going on, his little curriculum stuff, and his books, man. I appreciate them, and my kids definitely are learning from them. So it's
Awesome.
worth and it's not that much, man. Like I think he really charges you like $10-15 per curriculum, like every 2 weeks, the way that he's got it set up.
Very
And
good.
you get like $5 off when you use the code that's over there on our website and stuff with this episode and with every episode. And man, he's changing the world in his own way, man. And that's the kind of stuff we like. Like,
Yeah, and a lot more people are homeschooling, man. Everyone's doing it, and for good reason. And homeschooling kind of saved me
nice.
At the end of my education.
Well, Vince, you're usually hosting, man, so you're never on the other side of this conversation and being asked about yourself and how you are and shit like that. There, are you, bud?
Yeah, not really. I co-host some shows, but I don't do guest appearances very much.
Well,
yeah.
I thank you for being here again, for being our guest on this thing, man. And so I got to ask you, what got you into all this stuff, dude? Just for the folks out there listening from my end that may not know you.
Okay, well, my name is Vince Tagliavia. You guys could find me wherever you search Vince Tagliavia, and or on socialredpills.tv. All of the shows I do or co-host with are there, and Jim Bob co-hosts with me on Makes You Think Saturday show. Fantastic. It's also wherever you guys are watching now under Red Pill Project channel. Anyway, I got into this about 2.5 years ago. I started a channel on YouTube because I'm a hobby artist. I do oil painting and stuff. So I made a channel. It took every ounce of courage that I had. I was like, all right, I'm just going to do it. And I just went for it, and I made a few videos. They got like 100 views each. And then I started getting involved in Josh's platform, which he is the founder of Red Pill Project. And I discovered him. I started watching his stuff, and he used to drink and have like Friday shows and just talk conspiracies and this kind of thing, kind of the stuff we all like to talk about. And he's like hanging out with his buddy Jeff, and he goes, "Hey, who wants to come on? Who wants to come on?" And I hit him up. I was like, "What do I need to do to come on?" He's like, "Download Zoom." I'm like, "Can I do it from my phone?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right." And then so I just go on my phone one day, and then he kept inviting me. And now we collaborate very closely together and produce shows and different programs and kind of run the Red Pill Project and his private social network and this kind of thing. So ever since then, I've been doing that. I do shows 6 days a week, 1 or 2 shows a day.
Nice.
And so, which is part of the reason I don't do a lot of guest appearances, but we have guests come on one of our shows. But a lot of the weekly shows are just following the news and current events. But then on Friday and Saturday, we get a little weird and we get into the fringe stuff, which is, I always look forward to that, Jim Bob. You and I have done, did you know we've done about upwards of 20 hours together?
Nice. Nice.
of
I know.
content.
I know that I've got every episode that me and you have been on together linked on our website, of course, too. And then I've even
yeah.
got
I'm there as well.
got a
If you
good
guys want to
handful with
find me.
Josh too.
Yeah, just the one
Beautiful.
episode I was on with you too. We
And I like when me and you get to join in on like Fringe on Friday nights too. I think that's always a fun night to do things.
Seriously, yeah, we have big gatherings once in a while, just like this. But we'll have on our platform Tuesday. Last night we had like 40 people in a chat, and we're all just going off. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
I love it, but dude, and I was going through our past shows that we've done this year on Makes You Think, and Luis, you've been on there as well. That was fantastic. I appreciate that.
It was so much
Or
fun.
Fringe,
Yeah.
rather, Friday show. Yeah, but
Awesome.
we
I
did.
enjoyed the MK Ultra one I was on. That was
Turn up a hair.
time.
Oh yeah, you were there too, Bandit. Bandit did the MK Ultra episode.
Yeah, where you showed the video of the kid in the movie theater, not realizing what he did.
Yeah, that was about mind-controlled assassins.
Yeah.
It was amazing, dude. So we do a lot of really cool topics there. It's awesome, dude. So it's a real pleasure to be here. I can't wait to just get into a little bit of the nitty-gritty with you guys and shoot the stuff.
Oh man, we get all over the place over here. Like actually earlier today, we've been talking a lot about the festering mess going on over there in Iran right now. I'm sure you're familiar a little bit. You actually said before we started recording this evening, you had said that you were just looking through that stuff as well, and that's, I mean, whew.
Yeah, man. It takes one small catalyst, and shit hits the fan.
Did you guys see what I said? I just found another one I wanted to show you. This is graphic, but this is the police literally shooting at people.
Oh yeah, they killed a couple people.
Oh my.
I don't know if they're using lethal rounds or not. I know they're using non-lethal, but I did read that 2 or 3 people have died.
Is this in reference to the protests in Iran right now going on over that woman who died in police custody?
It was.
Oh geez.
Yes.
Yeah, 22-year-old was basically killed by the morality police, and this has pushed people over the edge because, you know, it essentially was a completely innocent human being that was murdered by the state for just not following morality rules in relationship to what they're wearing. Like,
or showing her face in public.
Like, it's not acceptable. And what did you see? Elon Musk actually said, "Hey, I want to put Starlink in Iran." I'm like, he wants to push the revolution. I'm sure the United States is going to be like, green light.
Starlink's weak.
And it's been like, you know, night after night of protest out there dealing with it, of course, since it happened. And even other women have been gathering up during these protests and burning their, I don't want to say it wrong, I'd butcher every word that there is, but their hijab,
yeah, and cutting their hair off in public.
Yeah, like it's getting wild over there, you know. And that's that, but in a sense it's a good thing. Like, it really is. You between them getting riled up over there, and then who was it you said, Bandit, was burning their
Italy was.
Yeah, Italy's burning
And then
Haiti
is at its tipping point right now too. The Netherlands still they're having the farmer protest. Their state police, federal law enforcement are actually on site with semis and flatbeds, impounding the tractors in town. So they're taking the farmers' tractors now because they're protesting.
What was going down in Haiti? I heard there was some stuff going on down there.
They've demanded the immediate resignment, or the immediate they want the government, the current government, to just like leave. They want the current government out.
Fascinating thing about that. Remember when I don't know if you guys remember that the prime minister was murdered by the Colombian special ops?
It wasn't Colombian special ops. Well, that's what they said it was.
Yeah, they said it was
It
Colombian.
was definitely.
Actually.
that is typical United States operation.
It was no. It was likely the United States that hired them.
Absolutely, 100%.
But it was Colombians that were doing it because they were the accents they heard. It was like, this sounds like a Colombians because they all sounded like that. But what I was saying is, like, he was the 7th. I believe he was the 7th in a recent constant change of prime ministers. So we're now going for the 8th or the 9th prime minister in a very short period of time. Peru, I think, has changed government 4 times in the last few years. Yep. So there's a lot of consistent revolutions happening globally, and
the Iran situation kind of reminds me of the George Floyd incident that we had in the U.S. One event, and it just
at least as far as I was actually just thinking that I don't think for the incidents we do hear about overseas, right? That as sorrowful as it is that innocent people get caught up in the crossfire of it, it does actually inspire hope that people are willing to actually stand up to their government when governments get bent sideways like this. Obviously, I have my own reservations about how I feel like I don't think we do enough in the United States, and then obviously the matter of complacency. It's not the really topic of the hour, but
we'll be the last domino to fall.
Even then though, it gives me hope that people are actually willing to stand up and say something.
Sri Lanka should be the main one that everybody thinks about.
Yeah, that when that went down a couple months ago, that was like, what was that?
That's still going on. So it's just now the new.
It's not at its peak right now.
No. I mean, we're gonna see more. I liked We News. I mean, have you ever seen this channel from India that does like what the most honest news I've ever witnessed on any broadcast? WI News.
No,
it's from India. This particular woman. I mean, if you want to see like real people talking real stuff in an open forum to millions of people, this channel is one of the best channels I've ever witnessed in mainstream.
Oh, please send it over, Canna.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, it's a symbol of hope.
It's Wire News.
I think that it's a pivotal moment for anybody like Iran right now, where things are completely destabilized and chaotic. There could be good things that come out of it and bad things. It's kind of like the phoenix out of the ashes scenario, or order out of chaos kind of thing. It's whoever takes the lead, takes the lead. So
and that's always something that we have to walk kind of a fine line, so to speak, on where we stand as far as opinions of whether or not we get involved in matters, because at least the way I see it, the way I see it, what people are fighting for against the state in Iran right now comes down to a matter of civil liberties, in a sense, for women. And there's obviously we could talk about the quagmire that is the Middle East for hours about whether or not organized religion, the harm that it absolutely does to people, and the machinations that we create around society and forming society around religion, right? Mm-hmm. That's Islamic culture by and large, and obviously that plays in a lot too, especially the phrase that you use, Luis. What was it that you called it? Morality police. Is that what you
those are the individuals that committed these crimes against this individual woman, and
right. And it's like
a lot of things are coming out.
Yeah, it's just in that sense, it gives you kind of opens your eyes to, hey, just because it's law doesn't mean it's right.
See, the website that Luis just said to look up some news. It's like one of the main videos right there, like in a big banner right in the middle, is what is the role of Iran's morality police?
Yeah, and then if you go to Gravitas is the main show that literally speaks about global politics, and these people have been on the money. Like, this is one of the rare places I would say, like, if you want good global news, these people have covered every single crazy stuff that's happening while nobody else is talking about it. And they also do a deep dives into what's happening in India, as they are Indians.
But they're also on there attacking video games like boomers have been since the 80s.
I mean, no. I mean, there is a real addiction, a video game addiction problem. This is related to video game addiction. So, the video game addiction is an extremely serious topic. Regardless of, like, we're not talking here about do video games make killers. It's more about, do video games create potentially debilitating disorders that come from social anxiety. So South Korea was the first country to have institutes for addiction for video games. Mexico now has institutes for addiction for video games, because life in Mexico is so hard. Kids just go into video games.
It's an escape from reality.
It's an escape. And it's what the
really
World
is.
Economic, it's what was that Yuval Harari was saying, that he was saying, we're just going to drug you, give you video games, and have fun.
Yep.
Don't
bother us.
I went to, I was around town, and this guy we were just chit chatting. He's an older man, probably in his 60s. And he's just like, do you like Harari? And he seemed like a little autistic and just a strange man. And I was like, Harari.
He just said Harari, the last name. He didn't say you.
He's like, do you like Harari? And I was like, Harari. Dang, that sounds really familiar. And I looked it up real quick, and I was like, oh, heck no. I hate this guy, dude. Transhumanism, all this stuff. No, I'm not into it. I don't want to be a part of it. Leave me alone. And he's like, yeah. It was just weird, man. I'm like, he's like, he has some good speeches. And I'm like, people are listening to this. Like, this is good stuff. Wild. But I appreciate where you're coming from with all the news and stuff. And I actually found this quote this morning, and I wanted to share it with you guys. And I try to be a better person and have these conversations that are constructive and learn. Even if it's a wacky idea or something on the fringe, I still love it. And even if it's something I think I'll never believe, I like to hear it. And with all the news sources out there that people are looking at, it's hard to find your way in this world. So here's a quote that kind of goes along these lines of kind of what you're saying here. And it is this quote: "You must always be willing to truly consider evidence that contradicts your beliefs and admit the possibility that you may be wrong. Intelligence isn't knowing everything, it's the ability to challenge everything you know."
I could have used this quote last night.
The second part of the quote's attributed to Albert Einstein sometimes, and the whole, though, is unknown. I couldn't find the author. Did you find that last night? It's good stuff. And
We should have.
Yeah,
I think that's...
You did this quote last night.
Oh, you needed it last night. That's right.
I couldn't say it. I'm a
Okay.
globetard and a heliotard. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm too dumb for his genius.
It happens, man. But yeah.
So
Sorry, Jimmy, go ahead.
no, I want you to go ahead, sir.
I had a thought. So, looking at what I'm seeing here, this is good stuff too. It looks like, and I know Iran has done this before, they killed access to the internet. So,
Oh yeah.
Total black.
They're
works.
probably using Chinese Great Firewall technology for all that, because China has been exporting that technology, so they're likely using something similar to the
Yes.
Chinese firewall.
Did they do that again?
right.
I think I read
They-
something this morning.
The Chinese
They-
firewall? Yeah, just look
they
up Chinese
did. It
firewall
looks
in
like
Iran or something similar.
Blackout.
It looks like in the last, it looks like sometime in the last 4 hours they did
Oh.
kill the web again.
Yep.
And so they did this before. I think it was shortly after Cheeto and Chief had grenaded the whatever that guy's name was, the IRGC commander.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah, at the airport, right?
right, that's the one I'm thinking of. I can't remember the
Yeah,
guy's name.
yeah.
But the point I'm getting to is, so we have now at our fingertips, obviously, a birth of information, a very wide berth, and it's, like you mentioned, it's hard to know what we can actually rely on, right? We're always going around the web trying to find the answer that works. And I do firmly believe in what you guys were just saying. I am a firm believer that ignorance grows in an echo chamber. Not being willing to challenge your own belief system is detrimental, and it's also really bad for your mental health. So there's a double-edged sword to the internet. I work in the information technology industry, and I'm personally of the opinion that the internet can do a lot of good, but it also has the capability of doing a lot of harm. And I feel like in the modern day, since the internet's really come into its own here in the last 20 years, that we have so much information now in front of us that it is even more possible than it was in years past, like thinking back to the world wars, to manipulate people, because you targeted advertising.
It's generational warfare. That's what it is. It's warfare of the mind, and that's what China has been playing on the rest of the world. This propaganda.
I agree.
That's why TikTok was mentioned so many times.
Yes, I do remember when they talked about banning.
Well, Jim Bob is very popular.
Yeah, I do remember that though, that they talked about banning TikTok for something along those lines. And yes,
they did.
I agree. I agree 100% though.
What was going to happen was not exactly a ban. So what was going to happen was they were forcing ByteDance to sell to Oracle and Walmart.
This is what you were talking about before. Okay.
Yes. So Trump was brokering the deal.
Okay.
And Oracle and Walmart were very interested. They never really openly talked about it out loud. Oracle actually has the information on 5 billion people. And they had a massive leak.
Yes.
So Oracle's data, that's the Oracle data leak, if you've not heard of it.
It's like it's just like, it's like the fucking, the credit bureaus being compromised, and you fucking go
Equifax,
around the horseshoe
150 million people's information was leaked.
And guess what? And they still make nice with the federal government. Like,
by the way, you know the password?
Make deals with federal.
I do.
The password was password.
No idea.
Oh, I thought it was
password was password.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Admin
really?
Password.
Come on.
Yes, it was in a Europe. I think it was in a. In one of the servers, the power user, it was.
If I ever come across something, if I ever come across a file server that has a default username and password, I am going to see Blue Waffle across every instrument down the pipeline. I don't give a damn. That is so fucked. Like,
speaking of information leaks, man, none of that makes any difference to me. It's like the most important one that I've seen so far is the the guy that leaked Grand Theft Auto 6 from Rockstar.
Oh, that guy's so screwed.
That guy, I don't care if he's screwed.
I say we protect
Poor
that
kid. He's 16 years
old. He needs
old.
to be protected.
He's 16. Yes, I would say Rockstar should hire him after.
Yeah,
and just
hire them to take care of all the bugs in the games, man. That's,
hire him and not pay him. Like, you'll get to work for us as a little bitch instead of going to court. You're just going to work for us.
Information security is at times as much of an oxymoron as military intelligence.
So all right. So check this out. I've had this interesting follower over there on BitChute that has been repeatedly.
Oh yeah, you mentioned it. I need to watch this.
So they've been repeated. I've even got an article to go with it, so I'm about to pull it up. But they've been repeatedly sending me this same message and leaving it as a comment, even on episodes and stuff. And it says that a group of mathematicians and software engineers worked for 2.5 years to train a neural network that can crawl the web and create storylines and do video editing. And he sent me the link to a 46 documentary that what this AI thinks is the biggest secret in the world. Now, here's where things get interestingly uncomfortable, because it has to do with this article right here about how to sell your body for $46 million.
So yeah, there we go. 7 million like so 7 million you get your so the average price for a human according to like settlements is around $7 million
No.
That's it.
when you
No,
do
that
legal
can't be
settlements
right.
and for
No.
deaths.
Listen. This isn't that. This is the 7
just-
million you'd get for your germ fighting antibodies is the 7 million that's being mentioned here. It is according to this document that was written, and it this whole I really recommend watching the video. I'm gonna put the video in the link because it's interesting because I watched it. It's 46 minutes long, but it goes in depth and talks about like where this stuff gets like sold at.
It's like the
stuff that.
market. It's like showing the market price, not really showing like what company, like showing the actual market value. So that's why when 23andMe charges you $100, it's really worth $10 million.
Well, I mean, okay. So this though is more along the lines because when you get into watching the video and you get to listen to what the video has to say, it's talking about human trafficking and how the uptick in human trafficking goes along with a lot of this interesting information that's on this how to sell your body for 46 million. And it even goes into depth and like some other stuff. And again, this was all written by AI. And I don't know, I really recommend checking this video out because it's interesting to know that even a computer is like, hey, you should be paying attention to human trafficking, which I am, personally, that's something I do love to bring up and talk about because it's a very, very real subject. I'm sure you hear and know a lot about that kind of stuff too, Vince.
Did you see what Kid Rock tweeted recently? I'm trying to find it here.
Kid Rock.
Yeah.
Strange event, Kid Rock being political. Kidding. Kid Rock's always been political, but nobody likes his opinion.
Directly related to this, or was it recently? I don't know. I saw a meme today where basically Kid Rock posted a thing, and it was an image, a meme, and it said something about Saturn having the largest rings in the solar system except for one body, and it's the Hollywood pedophile ring.
Oh, nice. Go full and attack the scourge.
Yeah. Is he
out with that one?
Is he trying to one up Ricky Gervais?
Yeah.
What about that fighter? I know you guys seen that guy, and he's I follow him.
There were two.
Ishmael, whatever.
Yeah,
there was a second fighter doing it.
There was a second fighter.
Yeah, there was a second fighter talking about it too.
But the main guy, the first guy that said it, I've been following him on TikTok, and he's doing his own podcast too out there, which is great. I love all
the white
podcasts.
guy was the guy white. He was taken off Facebook. He was I think he was literally banned, and that's why he said Zuckerberg. Like he calls out Zuckerberg, just because the platform. The thing is, people this famous, they know what they're doing when they're hitting a person this famous, and I love that they're taking that moment and speaking about some real problems instead of like, I like to thank my mom, I like to thank my trainer. Like, no,
the original guy that was out there that it was being filmed and everybody's seeing, and we showed it a couple days ago here on a past episode. He's on TikTok and he's totally running his own podcast too, and he's promoting his podcast over there on TikTok. And he has been in every single episode of his podcast been playing a song that he wrote himself or whatever, had mixed himself, about calling out Jimmy Kimmel, and like just repeatedly, he's like day 20 something, like the one I seen the other day, it was like day 23 of dragging Jimmy Kimmel through the through the woods until he admits that he's a pedophile. And I'm just like, yes, like absolutely yes. Like this is it's fantastic to see more people speaking up about it, and I am seeing it a little bit more here and there about things because people are talking about it even more. Like there's people on TikTok. There's and some of them, sure, I'll give them the fact that maybe just maybe they're doing it for attention. But there's also other people that are out there really talking about serious, like, hey, I spent an early part of my life in human trafficking things, and then like, the one young lady I've been talking to, she's actually got her like story going out in magazines and stuff because they're actually wanting to interview her and stuff on the mainstream media about this stuff. So
who's that?
It's coming to light. She's on TikTok. I don't know her real name, but
a friend of ours that has come on a few times. does a lot of research into human trafficking and does a really great job. Her name's Natalie Denise.
Okay.
She's an investigative journalist. She has a YouTube and podcast called The Daily Traffic.
Daily Traffic. All right, I'll have to look her up.
She's working on a documentary as well. She's just phenomenal with her breakdowns and detailed analysis of it all.
Well, how big do you guys think the human trafficking market globally is per year?
Oh,
It's got to be in the billion. It's got to be
Take a
bigger
wild
than the
guess.
drug market. It's got to be bigger
Take a
than the
wild
drug
guess.
market.
300 billion.
55 billion dollars.
Oh, 154 billion. That was 2019 numbers, I believe.
Wow, holy shit, really?
Yeah, so it's probably way higher now.
Jesus.
yeah.
I just threw 300 billion out as a
Well,
guess.
I mean,
Fuck.
but what's the
You're not that far off.
What's the
God
worldwide drug market though?
No, it's way bigger. The worldwide drug market is trillions.
Yeah.
Trillions?
For
Mhm,
real.
trillions. No, the biggest overall is illegal drugs, and this is the thing, is like the war on drugs was the biggest scam to have ever been committed to
Like,
the entire planet. One of the biggest.
The war on
Drugs,
drugs
the war on
lost to drugs.
Portugal did it right. Portugal, 14 years ago, I believe today, they have lowered their HIV numbers by over 50%. They're lowered by over 50%. Also, the drug user quantity, the people that are actively using bad drugs, and their system now helps and cures these people instead of alienating them. They notice that through compassion and love is how you cure them.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I like
but
that.
I mean, when you look at like our prison system, how we house the most prisoners, and I mean anywhere else on the planet, that has a big contribution to why they want to continue the war on drugs.
They need
You know?
to fill them up. And the thing is, until somebody comes into office and just comes out and just flat out calls it out, truly, and gets support from some people. And the thing is, hopefully now we're getting some replacement people and they're against this system. But at the end of the day, Bill Gates is one of the biggest investors in the prison industrial complex. So scum like that are part of the problem.
Oh yeah. Okay, but Vince, let me ask you about this. All right, I was having this conversation in the group chat too earlier. When it comes to like the justice system being a joke nowadays, and like the prison system, and how I am a firm believer in like criminals' rights. Like, and I know that sounds like a weird subject, but like a good example, I guess, the best breakdown I could have is like my buddy that I work with, he did some shit in his childhood where he was an idiot, and he's got a record. He did his time. He's improved his life great. You know what I'm saying? He's bought a house. He has a great job. Yada yada yada. Real good individual with children that he's raising and all that good stuff. But because he has that past felony, he no longer has rights. He's not allowed to vote. He's not allowed to own a firearm. He's not. His Fourth Amendment's right out the door because his name's on that list, they can just be like, oh well, we get to search you anyway, buddy, because you're a suspicious person with such a historical background, yada yada. And I think that if you did your time and you got released, you should have your rights back. Like,
Yeah.
there should be no reason whatsoever why you don't have your rights. And
I agree.
I think that's a load of crap, and I think that's something that people like look over that. They don't think about this. Like, there's so many people that are on that have committed felonies that were menial things that didn't bring harm to someone, but in the eyes of the state, they were a felony, and they no longer have rights in this country because of bureaucratic nonsense. Like,
But there is a separation, of course. Because there's a lot of people that have committed felonies and they were non-violent. And
Mhm.
sure.
the majority of those should be blanketed as after you come out of prison, after a certain period of time, it's all back because it's a non-violent offense.
I think it should be immediately.
violent, different story.
I think it should be immediately,
Not if you
with
did
the
your time and
exception
got
of like
released.
when you're doing and there should be no parole, probation, or whatever. Man.
Well, there's nuance.
When you
to
leave,
violence. Well, that's
yeah,
what I
when
mean.
you leave the confines of the prison, it should be like you never entered in the first place.
Here's where I'm.
But see, again, going to our justice system, they want that recidivism because it keeps those wheels turning. You know, it keeps their wheels turning.
There's a dependency on the labor that it provides, and it's ingrained into the 13th Amendment, that slavery is still legal under the provisions that if you are in detention, that you will serve the state, right? And we talked about this specific topic on Black Lotus Coalition before with them on about, I feel like if you've done your time, if you've served and you have been deemed to be allowed to re-enter society, I agree with Bandit that your rights should be.
And I don't think you should blanket everybody in that
under the same notion that because you have to participate in the system.
I don't think
paying taxes, but no taxation without representation, right?
I don't think though that you should also blanket all those violent felons together either, because again, the state says, what's the violence and not the violence. And I'm going to use my buddy as an example again, that, sometimes violence to save your own ass or to save a family member, and it gets you arrested because in the eyes of the state it was wrong and you were doing something that was righteous, but you're still considered a violent felon now. Like, no.
I have a perfect example of this, and it's ongoing right now. You'll have to look up the story because I don't want to say, I can't remember where he's from, but there was a incident in Baltimore, Maryland, where a military veteran stopped an active shooter before it started. He was a concealed carry from another state, and he was carrying, but he did not draw his gun. He stopped the shooter, wrestled the gun away from him, and now he's facing prison time in Baltimore, Maryland.
Why?
Super fucked up.
You can't carry into Maryland from another state. Your concealed carry permit does not it won't. You can't cross state lines into Maryland with another concealed carry from out of state.
Yeah,
and so the police arrived on scene, found he was carrying concealed from another state, and now he's facing prison time.
Well, there's something to be said about those police officers as well, being probably incompetent, because police officers can use their own discretion in any case, no matter what.
Oh yeah.
I found that Marine veteran Lloyd Muldrow stopped an attack by an armed assailant at a Baltimore bar. Then they arrested him.
Send that over here.
That is just asinine.
It's fucked.
Total asinine.
We could certainly do better in the realm of imprisonment and law. It's so corrupt. And your buddy, he may actually be able to vote this election cycle. So have him give it a try.
Well, I mean,
they're just going to allow anybody. They need all the numbers they can get. If you believe in that sort of thing.
Interesting, but it's one of those things. I mean, I'm not a big fan of voting anyway, but I think it's still about a premise. Like you shouldn't lose your rights because you made a mistake in life.
If you have to participate in this system of paying taxes and being a functioning member of society, right? And you've went to prison, you did your time, and you've re-entered society, what benefit is there to still deny someone their rights after such time? If again, it's a nuance here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for real. It's a cycle.
I think that it could be argued that's cruel and unusual punishment, and
I agree.
I want to stop there though, because I got to take off, you guys. But it's been a real pleasure. Jim Bob, we'll have to do it again real soon.
No problem, Vince. I appreciate you coming in and joining us. Of course, we're going to continue on over here. We got a little bit more to talk about. So,
all right, thanks.
I thank you, Vince, and you guys make sure you get over there to the Red Pill Project.
Nice to meet you, Vince.
Some love, man.
Thank you.
He's a real good dude, and I do hope he gets to come back and hang out again one night.
That would be awesome, you guys. I'll see you soon.
All right, bud. You have a fantastic night.
Have a great
night. Have a good one, man.
Thank you, everybody.
And Vincent warned me that might happen. He had some stuff going on, and that's quite all right. We'll be able to make it on without him. But I would like to continue on with what we're talking about.
Yeah,
So-
I just want to close my thought on that, and then sorry, Luis,
I'll add to it.
Yeah, I'll just close my thought out, and I pretty much all I wanted to say on that subject, because we've rehashed this 1,000 times, right? But the thing that really drives me up a wall is you've got this, and from a perspective of people judging it from the outside, saying that they shouldn't have their guns back, or they went to prison, blah 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 blah, and repeat a fucking rhetoric like a dead horse. They don't put any into consideration in the mitigating factors, like what were the circumstances, what is the context,
You broke the
why
law.
was the person released if they're no longer and
And do you
that's
know
such
who-
a
You know who bangs that drum the loudest? Fucking boomers.
fucking boomers every
But
time.
see, the thing is, and then what I always like to, but my answer to that though is always, it's like the average American, regardless of, the average American adult commits on average
3 felonies a day.
three felonies a day and 4 misdemeanors.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at all you have to do to look no further than that is go to one of those websites. That
brings up the Oprah meme. Brings up the Oprah meme.
Yeah.
Here's a felony. Here's a felony. Everybody gets a felony, man.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a felony. It's
Right.
ridiculous.
All you have to do, you don't have to look any further than go into one of those websites that publishes dumb laws.
Oh.
All those websites that publish the dumbest
But let me ask you guys
laws in the world. And you don't think about them being enforced, right? But yeah, go ahead, please. Sorry.
on this, which is related. What's your views on no cash bail?
That's tyranny and another form.
It needs to go away because who does it affect most?
Us?
Who does it affect most?
Poor.
Yeah,
the poor. The poor.
But this is the
100%.
tricky part. So this is the tricky part. So no cash bail is positive and negative. The negative is what's happening, the rampaging violence that's happening like in New York, that's happening in Los Angeles, that's happening in San Francisco, that's
coming
happening
soon to Chicago.
nationwide.
Oh, boy.
Every single city that declared no cash bail has destroyed the cities. I remember the video we were talking about earlier, the McDonald's that was destroyed by the axe wielding guy.
Yeah,
He's out.
yeah.
He's out.
When that could have simply been solved by somebody carrying.
No, I would disagree because there was too many people there. There was too many people.
Nah, sorry. I mean, if I'm sitting at my,
It was
I'm sitting at my table.
I know that McDonald's. It's like the distance between anybody in that place was about 5 feet. So you don't see it from the perspective of the video, but the general distance between any person there was 5 to 8 feet. So it was really tight. That's on Delancey Street. I've been inside of the McDonald's before.
I get the I get the meaningfulness of that, but also there's another part of me that understands that if there is a threat to
he had a freaking
myself
axe
or
in his
another
bag.
person-
I was like, what the? And then he asked for
If
a woman's
there is
phone
a-
number.
If there is a threat to myself, to my loved ones, or under a duty to just act and defend the life of another, I want to stop that threat. Plain and simple.
Of course. And you should have the ability to carry. And the thing is, in New York, they're taking away.
That's all you got to say. Just it's New York. That's all you got to say.
Basically,
We know.
because of their-
We know.
New York is
still-
either going to reset or go full tard.
Yeah.
Or we can
I
just put a
mean,
wall up and it can be like a whole Snake
So-
Plissken thing.
Yeah. After
You
we
gotta
get Luis out.
You gotta escape from New
Yeah,
York.
after we get Luis out,
that's
they can wall it up.
You got an eye
Luis,
patch and a wig.
So,
But-
Luis, since you live there, I would like to get your opinion on something, though. We talked about this on a previous episode. What's your opinion?
Jesus. Yeah,
Nice.
dude.
Nice.
This is from Escape from New York. Sadly,
I
the
dig it.
remnants, because I was trying to get Kevin. My God, Kevin.
But
Who's
I
Kevin?
want
trying to
to
get Kevin
know
this
your
week.
thoughts. You're a resident of New York City.
Yeah,
Correct.
10, 11 years.
So I want your thoughts on New York's wide duty to retreat provision. I just want to know your opinion.
You're basically forced to retreat.
Yeah, and I don't agree.
There is castle doctrine in the home, but to an extent. And
I heard a guy had a gun that wasn't registered and got it confiscated and taken away from him a few years back.
That's the difference. An unregistered weapon is an unregistered weapon. Let's be real.
But still, that's such a
story.
stupid nuance.
That's a problem in West Virginia, as it is a problem here. An unregistered weapon is a problem in West Virginia, as it is a problem here. Now, if the gun's
Why'd
registered,
you use West Virginia like that?
Because West Virginia has very liberal laws in relation to weapons. That's why.
I mean,
in West Virginia, an unregistered weapon would get you in trouble. First of all, it's so easy to get a freaking weapon in West Virginia and get a permit and get everything that there would be no reason for you to have an unregistered firearm in your house unless you're planning to do something that you should be doing in the first place.
Yeah,
that's in my opinion.
But cutting the nuance. But yeah, cutting the nuance down to simply a matter of should you have a right to defend yourself? I am 100%. And
I like my next door neighbors of West Virginia.
I don't walk that back for anything, including New York's stupid ass laws, including that one.
No.
It's something that I've been thinking about.
All my neighbors
want
to have guns. All my neighbors want to have guns. All my neighbors, like neighbor over there, neighbor over there, neighbor over there, neighbor over there, wants a firearm. Right. Everybody wants a gun.
Yep.
Everybody wants a gun to protect themselves. They know the shitstorm that. Look, my Super, who at one point it was getting so hot. I mean, it kind of is. At night, basically after midnight, certain days, it's not the best idea to be out in the subways. I mean, shit can go down, and shit has been going down. And
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Louise.
Let
me ask you a question, Louise. You think any of those criminals out there running around in places like LA or New York City or even down here in Atlanta.
They
give two shits about any of those laws or registrations.
The moment they see one of those signs, they just take the gun out. They just put it in a corner and they continue walking and just go pick it up once they come back out of the zone, the gun-free zone.
Don't you see the gun return bins like right outside of the gun-free signs where criminals, please put your guns here in this bin, and then pick it up on your way out?
Yeah. No. It's a what is it called? Leave one, grab one.
Leave one, take one. It's like the fucking it's like the knife bins in the UK. Have you seen the knife bins?
That's Governor Hochul. That's literally Governor Hochul right now. That's our unelected garbage.
This is the best video.
Comedy gold.
She is clown. By the way,
seriously,
pull
up some pics of the knife bins in the UK. Ben your pointy knives, eh?
That's the other thing. The amount of the knife crimes, ask a Brit. The amount of knife crimes in Britain are insane.
Or acid crimes. Have you seen those?
Yes, a lot. It's very prominent in the Indian community because Indians. It's very prominent in India to just throw acid.
Especially on women.
Them. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In Canada,
bend your knife.
They have a problem with bear mace up in Canada. People will bear mace the shit out of you.
Actually,
I can't think of anything more Canadian though. I can't think of anything more Canadian than that though. Anything more of a Canadian crime than getting bear maced in Canada or beat with a hockey stick. How about bear maced and then beat with a hockey stick and then somebody pours poutine over you.
Louise.
I'm sorry if we have Canadian listeners. I'm not insulting you, man.
No. I just remembered. Wait, I can buy bear mace. That's right.
Oh, good luck explaining that to the cops in New York. Good luck explaining that to NYPD. Are you afraid of the bears in New York? No, sewer rats.
Okay,
For
so
giant anthropomorphic turtles.
let me tell you, by a Walgreens that's next to a hospital, not too far from me, there is people that sell you mace and
Tasers?
tasers.
Stun guns.
Well, this is the thing. The things that fire the little things at you. So I would remember this video this is shown to me by some Jewish friends of mine because it happened in a synagogue. This video happened in turn this video is the Jewish community uses WhatsApp a lot, so they share a lot inside of WhatsApp, a lot of like the crazy stuff that happens to the community. So they show me this video of this man that went into the synagogue, and they were trying to help this man, and then he grabbed a knife, and then he wasn't complying, and he wasn't complying, and he wasn't complying, and then he lunged at the cop, and the cop shot him. Now, people were saying, why the fuck didn't he use a taser? This man had like this much padding, like a coat, and people don't understand that a taser doesn't work when you have a big coat.
It has to be.
It does not work
Because
it needs a skin contact. So people have the perception, why do you use the taser? I'm like, the man was not listening to orders like at all, and he fired. And it's a sad situation because the synagogue genuinely wanted to help this man. He went into a particular church that is prominent in Crown Heights. It's a very big church that a lot of cultural events happen around the Jewish community. We're talking certain times of years. The year there's like hundreds of people outside, hundreds of people just like celebrating and just existing.
I don't believe police should be sent to handle mental health crises.
Oh man, there was a video
I completely agree.
I can't remember, but this kid.
But also, the man was armed.
Yeah, this kid locked himself in his car, and called 911. He had a knife. Called 911. He's having a mental health crisis. Like, I don't know exactly what was going on. He had a knife, locked in his own car, and at the end of everything, the cop shot him and shot and killed him. I mean, and there was no threat to the cops whatsoever.
Yeah, the cops gonna be so afraid of. By the way, legally, I can. I mean, this one, no. I mean, this is like so this one, technically, anything smaller than your palm, you can carry. So in theory, I should be able to, because this is a utility knife, and I use it all the time for work.
Speaking of, I mean, we talked about the mental health crisis. We talked about the mental health crisis today. And
oh look, I can take a whole plane down.
Oh shit! Look out!
Watch out! An entire plane's gonna come down.
And see, they weren't even the metal ones either; they were the plastic ones.
Oh, that's worse.
Yeah, it is a mental health crisis, man. It really is.
It is. I mean,
100%.
I'll repeat Dr. Drew again. There's 500,000 people moved into LA in the last few years, and yet we have 80,000 people outside.
And
how did those 500,000 people find shelter, but not those 80,000 people?
Go ahead, man.
In the United States, the police will escalate to violence within, 1 second. And if you do that to somebody that's mentally unstable, it's gonna end up with somebody getting shot. And that's not what should be happening right now, man.
Well, like Luis said a minute ago about the guy lunging with a knife.
Yeah.
I'm sure. You want to know what? I bet the cops, though, him seeing the cops show up escalated that mental illness.
No, the knife was outside before the cops arrived.
Yeah.
The knife was out before the cops arrived. The cops didn't escalate it. The cops were actually, I saw the whole video. The cops were trying to de-escalate it.
But I'm saying, like,
But look up Mythbusters. Actually, Mythbusters did a really good video on, is a knife more dangerous than a gun? And the conclusion, the knife is more dangerous than the gun. At 20 feet, the knife will kill you before you pick up the gun and shoot. That's why they shoot. And Mythbusters, man, Think about it. Mythbusters was doing analysis on IMS.
I
Look
don't
at the video.
believe that 1 second. I don't believe that
Look
for
at
1
the
second.
video.
I know what the video you're talking about, but you're talking about Hollywood special effects and engineers.
No, I'm talking about. I'm talking about engineers doing analysis on something complicated subject. You're right.
And I'm telling you, like in the span of 20 feet, like if somebody is carrying concealed, yeah.
Oh,
Let's not talk about that dude in the middle. That was horrifying.
Yeah, that one will make me rage if I.
Horrifying, man.
Not even.
Did you see the Baltimore case that the cop didn't get charged for flat out murder of the guy?
Yeah,
in the
murdered
hotel?
that dude in the back seat.
Was
that the one where he killed that dude in the back seat of the police car?
No, the one in the hallway.
Oh, Schrader, Daniel or Schrader
had an
was it?
And aiming
Daniel
it the whole
Schrader?
time. I think maybe.
I know the cop's name, but the victim was Daniel Schrader. Yeah, he was making him crawl on all fours, and dude was crying, and all he did was move his hand wrong, and executed him.
Flat out execution, no doubt.
No.
There's no question. Why the hell did the jury not determine that was excision?
It's called qualified immunity. And that cop got a PTSD claim, and he gets a pension of $3,600 tax free every month for the rest of his life, and he's only in his early 30s.
Bless America.
It's one of those things. It's like cops have it really is. It's like they have a license to kill. Killing you requires less paperwork, and they get a paid vacation for it.
Don't know. Is qualified immunity exclusive to the United States? I'm actually
no, but because Colorado, I think, or Denver did away with it. But I doubt the police unions. It's like, but like I said, they will kill you because it's easier, and they get a vacation. They have even caught cops on body cam footage saying, "I'm going to kill this dude because I'm going to get a 2-week vacation."
I'm trying to see if the United States is the only country that has qualified.
You can look up the video. Yeah. The video is free to look at.
New Mexico is the third state to abolish qualified immunity.
Good.
I guarantee that's not in all cases, though.
Governor signed a law. This is from 2021,
good
April
on them,
2021. New Mexico governor signed a law Wednesday eliminating qualified immunity for law enforcement, making it the third state to admit. What's the other two states? I'm now like, what's the other two states?
Colorado did Colorado? I thought Colorado did. But I mean, if you want to look at something, look at like how many people our cops kill each year in the United States. And for what offenses? The FBI
there's
has
a different
the shooting
scale.
statistics.
There's unarmed and there's armed.
No, they lump them all together. The FBI lumps them all together.
Yes, but then you can look at the graph, and the great
only 30% are armed.
So
it way higher than 30%.
So the matter of qualified
3 to 400. So it might be 30 to 40%, but I only thought like 300 or 400 out of the 1,000 killed each year are armed.
Actually, I want to check that out.
It goes deeper than just qualified immunity before, and I haven't really talked about this in quite some time. But qualified immunity is what we're willing to determine on the surface. So, if in any such case where shielding a police officer against civil liability, I don't think it goes far enough in a lot of cases where we run into these scenarios where police make a bad judgment call and someone either is maimed or loses their life over it. There's also the matter of what I think is
30% are unarmed.
Okay, so
30% are armed.
My bad.
It's backwards. 30%, around 30% are unarmed.
So look up a piece of case law when you have time. I encourage everyone to look into this. Graham versus Connor is considered the standard by which the reasonableness test is performed. And what that essentially means in the scope of the courtroom is based on the evidence in hand. Would a jury determine that the officer acted reasonably in the discharging of their duties? And it is such a broad principle. I feel like it gives too much deference to the conditioning of like fucking boomers again in the United States. Anyone who's willing to just outright bootlick and not look at something objectively can compromise what should be looked at fairly and impartial. Graham versus Connor is the groundbreaking legislation that determined that standard that we use today, and it's got some basis going further back in what's the name? The Tennessee, was like 40 years ago. The kid that got shot in the back, Tennessee versus Garner, I think.
I found the case.
So Graham versus Connor is more recent, but it has pretty much codified what we have determined for what is reasonable or within the reasonable actions of police officer in this country. And I don't think enough people talk about this, because we talk about qualified immunity, that's one thing. But we should look at Graham versus Connor because of the larger implication that means in how we treat court cases that involve officer-involved shootings.
We all know how that goes.
So, anyway, I hadn't talked about that in a while, but yeah, but I haven't thought about that in a while. But that's one that I almost have.
Because when was the last time like a police officer was? I'll tell you, the last time really that a police officer was held accountable for a shooting was Amber Geiger.
What? Which case?
Yeah, she's the one that shot. She broke into the wrong.
She broke into a dude's
woman,
apartment.
the woman that broke into the wrong apartment.
Yeah, she was drunk and off duty, broke into the wrong apartment, and thought a black guy had broke into her apartment, and she shot and killed him.
So
yeah,
I'll give you an explanation.
Years.
So I'll give you an explanation of why that happened. You want to hear why? It's the stupidest shit.
Okay.
It's lazy landlords that give the same fucking lock to every fucking door.
It's still not an excuse, though.
Yeah.
No. I'm not excusing her stupidity.
Yeah.
I'm not excusing her stupidity. Because you should have noticed that the decor was different, you fucking retard.
Yeah, for real. Like,
I am sure that his apartment that had to have the same decor to your apartment.
See, that's it.
Been blasted drunk. Drunk.
And the thing is, she was carrying.
Why is she carrying a firearm being that drunk?
Because cops have that mentality of, I am above the law. Did we not see the video of the female cop from what's the TikTok? Jimmy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The female cop sitting there out, just blatantly telling everybody, like right out in the open, saying the quiet shit out loud, like, I am above the law.
Oh, she got reprimanded to hell.
No, she didn't. She had one. She one shift.
24-hour suspension.
24-hour suspension paid.
I thought she got more than
one shift suspended due to an investigation.
That's
and it only took 1 day.
Let me find that one again. I looked at this the other day.
That's a good one. Actually, you should play that one if anything, because that's an interesting one.
She's
in full uniform, armed, and saying like it's super. Like you have to see it. That's actually a great one to show.
But that's
like the ego trip.
10 days without pay. Okay, that is the most current.
Wow. She gets to keep her job.
That's.
I mean,
yeah.
She was. This is the one that she's talking about. Like, if we're driving we're allowed to drive really fast.
Get the fuck out.
I can do 90. You can't.
Get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah. Or I'll find a reason to pull you over and give you a ticket.
Please play it.
And this is, I don't know. Is this the video? No, I don't know.
Yes, that's her. Yep. There you go.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Yep.
Here we go.
PSA to everyone out there. I'm speaking for myself, but I'm probably speaking for a large majority of other officers out there. If we're driving on the freeway in our police car, get the out of the way. Get the out of the way. If you merge and we follow behind you and we merge too, you're probably in trouble. The best way to find that out is get the out of the way. I can go 90 miles an hour. You can't. You can't do that. So get the out of the way. If us officers stay behind you long enough, we can find a reason to pull you over. So you might as well get the out of the way. Super simple. That's all. You're welcome.
My God, I had to take my headphones off. I can't. I was done.
Bro,
Like, how stupid do you have to be
listen, people in that
to
specific
actually post some dumb
hometown.
shit like that? You're
Truthfully,
basically saying she was saying what we know out loud. Like,
She
Jesus.
Wherever Fedway Police Department is, I'm just letting you people that are there that you might be listening know. These people have to go home.
That is like, but see, that's the mentality, and cops can fucking deny it all they want. That is the mentality of 99% of police officers out there.
Yep.
You know?
Yes.
But see, what would fix this, though? How about you stop hiring dumb motherfuckers? You know? How about you get rid of qualified immunity and hold all of them accountable?
The Norway model.
The what?
The Norwegian model.
Yeah.
This I'm not familiar with.
You require years of training.
Yes, they require them to have a lot more training, and a lot of people have said this, and I support this 100%. Cops need more training. We need more money for cops to be spent correctly, and we need a separate oversight board in every single state that is independently investigating them.
Let me clear something up real quick. I say abolish everything from the federal to local, but if they're gonna stay,
but I'm saying they need to have independent boards that exactly. There's some departments that need to be completely rebuilt.
I do agree with this assessment, because I don't feel like, police investigating themselves. Congratulations, we've investigated ourselves and found ourselves guilty of no wrongdoing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, my little town over here, down here in Podunk, Georgia, we had this go on recently, where 2 sheriff's deputies and slammed this dude on the ground. Yeah, it was a pretty rough situation. This guy right here. So you want to know the best part about it?
Oh wait, I remember that video.
You want to know the best? You guys ready for the best part? After their 10-day with pay suspension, and some underhanded stuff where they decided that they were going to step down from Butts County, the neighboring county, Monroe County, hired them right on and let them start right away.
This has happened so many times in my home state, South Carolina. My state will recycle police officers hand over fist. We had a guy in the county that I grew up in, and so he got caught more than one time drinking on the job. Open container in his car. Okay, let me be clear here.
Is this the video of the cop that's super drunk getting arrested? Because
it's not that. This is a few years ago, and essentially it was just kind of an investigation done by SLED, which is South Carolina State Law Enforcement. Anyway, they did not recommend, based on their fact-finding mission, that he lose his certification to conduct law enforcement activities in the state. Instead, what happened was he was released from his duty in his position, and he was told that you need to resign. His official response was, "That's fine. I'll just resign before any criminal implications, and I'll just go to work somewhere else." And he did exactly that. He went to one county over, to Spartanburg County, I believe, and he still works there now, as far as I know. I'll have to pull the story up because it's actually an interesting read. But Cherokee County, South Carolina, this happened in like 2015, 2016. Guy was caught drinking on the job multiple times, and they didn't find probable cause to revoke his certification and kick him off the job for good. And there's so many examples like that.
But see, if they've got to, if we're going to keep them, because I'm not advocating for law enforcement. Like, they can disappear from federal to local level, and I don't give 2 shits. But if they're going to be around, I mean, you need to take away qualified immunity. They need years of training. You need to stop hiring dudes with single-digit IQs. And you need to.
That's not going to stop happening, bro.
If there is any type of payout, it should not come from the taxpayers. It should come directly out of their fucking pension. That'll solve 100%. Shit real quick, man.
I'll give you a stupid example.
100% solve it real quick.
related to that, so in Puerto Rico, the governor of a prominent like town, city, state, whatever, the municipality called Guaynabo, he did a lot of sketchy shit with women, and the state, the government paid out $400,000 to the victims out of the state's budget, not out of his pocket. The state paid for his sexual misconduct. Why are we not having them pay? It is fucking ridiculous.
Bro, that will solve things real quick. Give them a stick, a whistle, and no backup, and they will turn their attitudes around real quick.
Well, you want them to be British, have the bobby, and then like
yeah. Make them walk the beat. Make them walk a beat with a whistle and a nightstick, and that's it.
I mean,
fuck those attitudes, man.
By the way, a nightstick can break your skull.
There's some.
I know they can. I got one.
What you guys were talking about as far as requiring additional training if law enforcement is to continue. I agree 100%. And they need to learn conflict resolution skills. Giving a cop 6 months of fucking training, throwing the. Yeah, so absolutely.
But they don't have to, because they can shoot you and take a vacation, and they don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So there's going to be no change.
There's a really great series called Problem Areas on HBO. I put a link there. Problem Areas by Weinstein really goes in depth into this, and is really something you all should watch. It's really good because it goes part by part into the systematic problems that are existing in the United States in a very, that's their point of view attitude, not his point of view attitude, but like what's their point of view perspective. So it's really impartial, which I love. Like he just focuses on allowing people to give their perspective instead of him imposing his perspective on them. So really great series. You wouldn't expect it from a comedian that comes from what is it called, from The Daily Show, but he's wonderful. He's doing good work.
Well, that's good. I mean, I don't listen. I don't care where you come from or what you do, as long as it's not fucking around with children. As long as you're.
Where's that friend of ours?
I mean, as long as you're not bringing harm to folks, man. I mean, that's really the thing at the end of the day, to be honest with you. Like, but I mean, no, there is that whole situation where you're talking about, because I've been seeing a lot of, man. Did you hear about those folks over there at the Gays Against
Groomers? I showed you that video the other day. I sent that video in chat the other day. That was a good one.
No, I'm saying, did you hear about the Gays Against Groomers getting banned from PayPal?
Venmo and PayPal?
Yeah, they're banned on Google
they
now
advocate
too.
for things like this.
Yeah, they're banned from Google now. Google, Venmo, and PayPal.
Well, Venmo and PayPal are the same thing, so yeah.
Yeah, and Google even banned them now.
What did they ban them on Google? On what platform?
Any type of Google Pay, I think.
I think they had some stuff going on all over there. Like not bad stuff.
See,
stuff, but
they think they're trying to get a point across, but at the same time they're just signaling to everybody, we support pedophilia.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
They think they're doing something righteous with this by banning that. Anybody, the same way with libs of TikTok on Twitter.
Oh, here's another one.
We're going to call them mass, minor-attracted persons. So don't judge people just want to have sex with a 5-year-old.
Don't judge people just because they want to have sex with a 5-year-old. They put up an article.
They're just
don't
saying
judge them.
They're just like, they're showing their true colors when they do stuff like this. They think they're making a righteous effort to accomplish something, but they're just showing their true colors.
Who are they defending?
Pedophilia. They're trying to normalize that into mainstream. They're trying to mainstream that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen.
No.
I mean, if you choose a hill to die on,
this is a really bad one to die on, and it comes about 1 minute of angle.
Yeah, I'm talking about like going against it, defending against that encroachment into society. I would think this would be a hill you would want to die on, saying no to something like that. And not just letting it, we have to accept them. We have to accept them into society.
Nope.
No, you really don't, man.
Where's that meme of a fucking soldier dropping a fucking grenade down 3 flights of stairs?
Yeah, that's something you don't accept.
I mean, again, I think I've got a pretty decent answer to that, problem, and
our friendly neighborhood Chippy.
And our
I got a few other better ones. I really think a wood chipper is too quick.
Chippy's intensifying.
And he's always hungry, So there's always a solution when it comes to that.
And he's very well lubed. He's ready.
I seen a really good one earlier, because you guys know I like to hang out over there and scan around on TikTok, and I seen a really good kind of video on this subject that made me laugh, and I figured you guys, of all people, including the folks out here listening and stuff and watching, would appreciate. This is definitely one you're gonna have to come back and watch. I really think, but I think you guys, of all people, would appreciate this video, and I'm gonna bring it up because it's so good. So, this lady right here is.
I remember this.
Okay, we'll watch this.
A group of middle school boys started what they called a pedo database to track the behavior of one of their...
I'm so freaking proud. Good job, boys.
A group of middle school boys...
Yeah.
I can't be mad at it.
Good job.
No, you can't. Man,
Kids are fighting back. There was
an initiative.
There was another classroom. They were all like taking us, okay, this is getting creepy. So it's happening multiple places, and it's not going to go well. Like, kids are not stupid either.
No.
People have the belief that kids are stupid, but no, they're not.
No.
They might be naive.
Those kids might not be able to act on it, but see, they're going to go home and accidentally mention something to their parents, and one of their dads is going to be like, "What'd you say?
Where's my chipper? Where's Chippy?
What did you just say?"
Okay, I want to find Chippy right now, and we're going to settle this.
Because I just can't. There's no other way to say it. It's just something that you don't do. You don't. You just don't, man. I don't care who you are. You just don't. Man or woman. You just don't do it.
No. I mean, just absolutely not. And I do, there's a big double standard in this world, I will say. Like, don't get me wrong. When we were all 13-year-old boys, Bandit, I'm sure we were like, oh, it would be great if the 20-something supermodel did whatever. Because we were 13-year-old boys that had that mentality. But, like, there is a big uptick in the past 10 years of female teachers fucking the students.
Which is weird, because, look, at the end of the day...
it's fucking gross. And then I go on social media and I have to see 1,000 fucking old creeps defending it. Where was this teacher when I was that age?
Yeah.
No, and this is the thing. I have met
go piss up a road, fucking
who were exploited by older women when they were minors, and it screwed them up.
Yeah,
so
it's fucked up.
The idea that all men will accept sexual advances from any female, it is an absolute and total lie, and there is a power dynamic associated with it that's very...
And you are doing serious, long-lasting mental health damage to that
lasts them their entire lives.
Yes.
To that young boy.
Absolutely.
For real, 100%.
Absolutely. So, well, guys, it's about that time. I think I'm going to go around the table and ask you guys how we, any final thoughts you have this evening. Neptune, I'd actually like to start with you.
I don't think I got anything tonight, man. We need to get back Outsider back on here at some point, though.
Of course, I will most definitely get Outsider back on here. He's a big advocate for this kind of stuff too, man. Like, human trafficking and pedophilia is a fucking problem, and I think there is a solution. and I don't want to say ultimate solution because that sounds terrible, but I mean, I really do think there is a solution. You know what I'm saying?
There is a solution, but it involves the private sector because our own government's not going to fucking do anything.
No, they just slap them on a wrist and put them on an app. So that
it does involve the private sector.
They promote them on TikTok.
Yeah.
And
they
Facebook
do.
and Instagram.
They give them a job in the White House. You know. So I think it's going to need to be the private sector.
That all you got for me, Bandit?
That's all I got, man. That's all I got.
What do you got, Luis?
There are lots of solutions to most of these problems, but everybody that's been sitting on the sidelines for their entire lives and is of age should start speaking up. Because if we all speak up, we all realize that we all have the power to collectively take over all of the establishment. We have the power.
Mm-hmm.
The people have the
do.
power.
Amen.
The people just don't know it.
Iran. Look at the video that came out recently, the other one where they literally all ganged up on the cop. And you then remember, it's like, no, there is some form of hope. Like this one is just.
Oh yeah, this is you sent this to us to.
It's
the group chat
the people. The people as a collective, like
that's the collective
they have
in action.
The power. But that's what we've been saying. Like they want to keep us divided, so we don't realize that.
Well, once the internet came in, and I remember saying something in 2012 to somebody, it's like the internet's what's going to change what's going to liberate the world from tyranny, because everybody thinks. Well, the naysayers and the lazy minds say, "Oh no, the world's gonna end. Everything's shit. Everybody's stupid." Blah 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 blah. Like the man that declared me the globetard that believes the world.
Hey man, I got a group of people that kind of say the same things about me, but that's okay.
There is a lot of hope, and there is a lot of winning that's going to happen.
It'll
and
get
it's slowly
worse.
happening.
It'll get worse before it gets better, but it will get better.
It will get better.
It will get better.
It will.
For
You
your
just gotta
children,
hang. You just gotta hang in there.
Children.
You know, and you gotta find a good group of people like this.
That's right.
And you gotta hang in there, man, and not give up.
That's right. That's right.
And inform yourself. Inform yourself.
Absolutely.
And, speaking of that, I don't know if I tell you guys enough, but I do appreciate you guys being on here with me all the time and setting aside enough time to hang out with me and have these challenging conversations that I believe need to be had. So, you guys rock just as much as the folks that are out there listening and sharing and talking about us and stuff, man. Like
Jimmy's the GOAT.
That stuff's great, man.
That's a good one, man.
I appreciate that. But there's just so much going on, man, and I think that these are issues that really need to be brought to attention, and more people do need to be talking about them as much as they can. That's for sure. So you guys make sure you go over there and check them links and go find Vince and give him a little bit of a hard time for having to dip out early. I'm pretty sure it was probably important, but it's okay. And of course, you guys know I'll have tons of links to share with this episode. I've got. If Neptune could see my tabs right now, he'd probably try to reach to the computer.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it. I was the one that always said something about how many tabs you got open.
So but of course, you guys know before I sign out, I gotta have one.
Let's do it.
So how did the pirate get his Jolly Roger so cheap? He bought it on sale. Good night, everyone.